Welcome to Eagle Spire Gaming. I'm your host, Crown, and today is February 25th, and this is going to be Great Penance episode 12. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know what Great Penance is, I have taken an oath of vow. I have started a crusade that I will paint off all this gray shame, my unbuilt, my unopened, and most certainly unpainted and primed models. I need to get them painted. I need to get them ready for the table so that they can be used, so that they can be pretty and sit on the shelf painted instead of sitting on the shelf in these, I want to say ugly boxes, but I mean they're nice. They're somebody put a lot of work into those boxes, and I appreciate that. They probably never get any recognition, but they are not as pretty as finished models. So we got to work on that, and I can't buy anything else until I do all that, and that is problematic because I'm trying to have a collection of models, but it's working towards that goal, right? Everyone's got a pile of shame. Most people have a pile of shame, probably. I just got to get rid of them. So in today's episode, I am revealing a new, I want to call it army, faction. It's not a new faction because it's more Solar Auxiliary. It's my traitor Solar Auxiliary. I already have traitors. I already have Solar Auxiliary, and I already have a traitor army, and these are allies to that army, so I don't quite know how to word it, but I'm unveiling a new that. Whatever that should be called, that is what we are unveiling today. And again, if you're new here, a little bit of news, a little bit of the models, and a little bit of the tactics that you're gonna go into that. And today it's 2 infantry boxes worth of stuff, and we haven't done infantry boxes for Great Penance yet, but there's not the most tactics to talk about them. They're infantry. They go into buildings, they charge things, they tie up tanks, they're cheap and very efficient in this game, and they die quickly, but you can have so many of them. So not a huge amount of tactics. So instead, we're going to talk real quick about how I painted them and the lore, my lore for them, and the plan. But for the news, I want to first apologize. I haven't done a video in like 3 weeks because 2 weeks ago, just when I would have been doing a video, I got really sick. Good timing cough. And it was the kind of sick where and went through the entire house. Oh, here comes another one. It was the kind of sick that went through the entire house. Nurgle just infected the entire headquarters. And I had planned on playing a game, but my opponent got sick, and then I got sick, and I couldn't get out of bed. I mean, I guess I could, but I really didn't want to. I didn't want to sit down at the table. I definitely didn't want to do a video, but I didn't even want to paint. So I feel like I lost a lot of February. I did recover last week. It only lasted for 4 or 5 days where I was completely tied up, but I was coughing so much still. I've got that lingering cough. I can feel it in there too. Oh, it wants to come out. But I didn't want to make a video where I just kept coughing. So we held off on that. It was a nice 2 weeks off, I guess, but it is stressful because I'm behind, right? And I got a lot to do. But while I have finished these guys, I'm almost finished with the next set of things. So that should be posted this week too. And we're in the middle of, if you see a lot of cuts in this video, it's because I started to cough and I am trying to edit those out and cut those out. But we're in the middle of doing a game. It should have that posted this week too, hopefully. We only managed to do turn 1, but it's Solar Auxiliary Battle Group versus Mechanicum Battle Group. Trying to test it out, trying to stress it, see how they work and how they put together. We've only done turn 1. I'll tell you right now, in our first game with Master Chief, with Stencil, I don't know what he wants to be called. He says Master Chief, but the first game he was quite aggressive. I think he was aggressive, and marching forward tanks when he maybe shouldn't have. This time he's being a lot more defensive. Still marching, but he's started way back, and I don't know how that's going to work out for him. I do know he has killed more points worth of stuff than I have at this point. So maybe it works out well for him. I don't know. But I'll tell you, Battlesmith, which I keep trying to call, you'll see in the video, I keep calling it Battle Scribe. based on the app that that I use to make army lists for Warhammer, not so much for 40k. I haven't used it in a while, not for Legions. I haven't used that app in a while, but Battlesmith is that keeps things alive. That is helpful. There's going to be a lot of cuts in this video where I have to edit out these coughs. But yeah, so that's what's coming up. And I only have one last thing of, I'm going to call it news, but really a question. Where are the tanks for Mechanicum? We're still missing Karaknos assault tanks and the Cryos battle tank and the Cryos venerable veteran, whatever it is. We're missing those 3 guys. It's probably 2 boxes. And it's interesting because, 28 millimeter, large scale Horus Heresy, they just got those tanks a week or 2 ago while I was sick even. They said, hey, here's these now, up for pre-order soon. Where's ours? They got to be coming soon, right? Watch, I'll do this, and then Thursday they'll announce them for Heresy Thursday. They'll come up this week or something, right? That's how it goes. But hopefully soon. I tired of waiting on them. Mind you, can't get them. But my, maybe somebody gifts them to me, and then it's really out of my hands at that point. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Say no? So before I show you guys the army, I want to talk about painting white real quick. And that's because this army is white. White and red, and a little bit black. Quite a bit of black, I guess. But I want to talk about painting white. Years and years ago, I went to the store. I went to an actual GW official store. That was what was in the area that I lived in at that time. I needed more white scar. My white scar had dried up. This guy right here. And it's a layer paint. And, getting it, the guy was talking, friendly guy. He was trying to be helpful. He was like, hey, there's probably nothing wrong with, I mentioned like, I need more white scar because mine's messed up. And he, trying to be helpful, not knowing exactly what I meant by messed up, it was dried up. He thought I was, that I was using it and it was coming out gray or not quite white. It wasn't coming out the right color. And he was like, hey, he said something along the lines of, I was recently talking with other managers, and there was an email, and we contacted headquarters or whoever, right? Engineers or whatever, the guys that know stuff about painting, maybe it was the heavy metal team or whatever. I don't know. But they said this bottle, white scar, and I assume by proxy other whites as well. This thing will not come out right if you don't shake it for 6 minutes. If you're painting it and it's coming out wrong, you need to shake it more. 6 minutes is a very long time for shaking. Normally you wouldn't do that much. I don't shake that much for any other color, and I never have an issue with them. This one needs to be massive amount of time, astronomical. And so he was trying to help me with that. I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome information. He told me the whole thing or whatever. I don't remember all of what he said, but that's the gist of it, right? That's the important thing. I still needed a new bottle because mine was dried up, but I appreciate that information. I do have to shake this quite often, quite a lot, and I didn't know that it needed 6 minutes. So I was probably always under shaking it. It worked out, I guess, but it could have been better maybe. I don't know. So I wanted to pass that information on to you. And because I was painting my guys white, I needed to use this I used apothecary white. And you're going to notice that these bottles have 2 on them. And I'm about to explain why I wrote that 2 on there. I didn't want to shake this for 6 minutes. And there was a bunch of gunk. There was a pigmentation down there. Something had settled to the bottom, and it was a very different color. I can't remember what it was now because it's been a few weeks since I did this. But I figured this is probably not coming out the way it's supposed to because that stuff is at the bottom, right? I'm missing some mixture, some quantity of that, some volume of that mixture is not proper. You know, if it's supposed to be a 1 to 4, whatever, that stuff down at the bottom is making it a 1 to 3 or something. I don't know. It's science and stuff, right? So I needed to get that out from the bottom. So I decided to go ahead and get myself a paint shaker. And it came with 120 of these steel agitators, stainless steel agitator balls. And I put 2 of them in each because that's what I read somewhere. I don't know if it was the instructions for the thing or if it was something I saw online. But I put 2 in each, and they shake up. And I wrote down that there's 2 in there. You know, that 2 means that there's 2 in there. And if I ever forget that that's what that 2 means, now I have this video to remind me myself. And I'll probably never watch this video, right? This one has a 2 written on it also, and that's why. See how long it took me to shake it to get there? This is thicker, and one day it will probably dry up, as did the other one. Either because I mess up and leave it open, or maybe it doesn't quite close all the way and I don't notice. I don't know. They dry up after time. I don't use them fast enough to use everything that's in them. So they might dry up, and I still want those stainless steel balls in there. So I wrote a little 2 on it to remind me. But if you're curious, if you're wondering, it's an Intel Lab, INTLLAB, Vortex Mixer VM370. That's what I have. I have no affiliation with them. That's just what I'm using, and it works fine. It got rid of all the gunk that was at the bottom. You know, that's all mixed in there now. I can't see it anymore. I do need to probably put this thing, before I use it again, I'll probably need to put it on the shaker again because, you know, it's been a minute since I had to paint the white color. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys, let you guys know about that. I think that product works fine. I got it because it wasn't battery, it's wall power, and I don't like batteries because then the battery dies and I have to go buy more battery. I'll use it. I'll get new batteries. I'll use something for 10 minutes. It'll be a month before I use it again, and the batteries are dead, and I need new batteries. I don't like that, so I just plug it into the wall, and it works fine. I don't know if that's if there's a cost difference to doing it that way, but I feel like I probably save money using it that way. But yeah, so let's talk about the army. Here you go. Here they are, my Locust Horde, Locust Host. We'll call them the Locust Host. I like that better. And they are, I started with Apothecary White. I covered the entire, the entire surface area of everything just to make sure that I got a good coverage there. And then I went and did their pants, the Black Legion. And as you look at them, you'll notice that some guys have red boots and some have black boots. The generic rank and file, for the most part, are going to have black boots, and the squad leaders and the veterans, which would be the Velatari Storm, they have those red boots. I feel like it made them stick out better. I feel like it gave them a better color. I also gave the veterans, the squad leaders, red chest plates. So you'll see the squad leaders, the guys with the swords in both the flamer bases and the las rifle bases. They have the red boots and the red chest plate. And as I was going through, originally it was just the shoulders that I did red, and I decided that I wanted to do that backpack red also, whatever that's supposed to be that's on there. And, at that point, I kind of decided that was good. I like having that, the face, the helmet white and the arms white. I felt like that gave them, these guys are supposed to look like Locust from Gears of War, because my Loyalists are supposed to look like Cog from Gears of War, and I kind of put them together like that, and they, I kind of like that white, it kind of makes them look like they're not wearing sleeves, they don't have sleeves, and they don't have helmets. If you don't zoom in real close, you get real close to them, and there's not a huge amount of detail to these things' faces and stuff anyway, or to the helmets, but you can kind of tell that that's a helmet. But yeah, so I think they came out really good doing that. All the guns are then painted. The guns and anything that's kind of a metal is painted with basilicum gray, and that red is Blood Angels red. It's the same colors that I used for my Mechanicum, my Traitor Mechanicum forces, and so it ties in well with that, but at the same time it's opposite colors towards my Cog, my Loyalist Solar Auxiliary, and red being opposite to blue in terms of teams, not so much in terms of like actual color wheel, but when you're thinking like, all right, I need 2 teams, one team's going to be red, one team's going to be blue, right? That's your standard. And then my Cog are also black, whereas these guys are white. They do have some black to them, but, they're white. So as we talk about that, so that's the paint scheme. That's, talking about Cog and Locust and everything, good time to bring up the lore. So if you guys are interested in in any kind of guide on how to do your own lore for your own forces, comment below. I will gladly put something together for that if there's interest in it. There's probably tons of articles and stuff. People have written about that for decades. So, you could probably find something else. But if you want to hear it from me, I will put something together. But what I did here is, so my lore for these guys, my lore for the Locust host is ties into my lore for the cohort of Gears. And what I did was, Gears, the planet Gears is where these guys came from, originated from, Geers, to separate it a little bit from the, what already exists in another fandom, or in another, fandom, in another setting, separates it that way a little bit, makes it more of its own thing, makes it more of its own 40K thing, or Warhammer thing. This isn't 40K, this is 30K. So, the cohort of Gears, and if you've been paying attention to the battle reports, you probably already know this, but the cohort of Gears, at the start of the Horus Heresy, they had an internal conflict, and their faction split. They are now, many of them remained loyalist, and some of them have split and tried to defect to follow the War Master Horus instead. And for a while, they fought each other in the same regalia, in the same uniforms. Loyalist versus traitor, blue versus blue, no distinction between the two. But as the battle went on, as they were able to regroup, as they were able to find the time, the traitors altered the color of their armor, altered the color of their flags in the blood of their loyalist brothers, their former loyalist companions, counterparts. So that is why their armor is now red. It's kind of the same story. It's kind of similar to how World Eaters, their armor was originally white and blue, but now it's red from all the blood that's caked onto them. But that blood came from close combat. These guys just, they recolored it after, they recolored everything after combat. They just drained the blood from the bodies. But yeah, so now, they've earned that nickname, they've earned that moniker of Locusts because they are just pillaging and taking and stealing from anything. They are a plague on this planet. They're a plague on the Cog, on the Cog who remain loyal, and now they are, they are the arch rival, the arch enemy to these guys. With that, you'll notice here's a picture of the of all my not all my commanders, but the Locust commanders and the Cog commanders, and you'll notice on the Cog they have their flags, their standards have these honors. There's detail on there. There's I couldn't write actual words, obviously, at this scale, but I blocked in some areas that look like words would be written there, campaign trails, campaign honors, valors, battles won, things to signify what they've done. The Locusts, they don't have those things. They've recolored their flags. They've ripped up all of the things that they had done for the Imperium. They no longer want to be associated with that. They are now their own people. They don't have, there's a bit of a ragtagedness to it. They aren't quite uniform. It's just, whereas the Cog have these, the slash and the horizontal stripe and the vertical stripe and the diagonal, those are to signify different units. Those are to, maintain some sort of cohesion so that, people know who they, I'm a part of that unit or that unit. The Locusts, it's just the same symbol. different sizes because they were done by different individuals. But you know, and the bigger one there, that big one where it doesn't quite, it's not even fitting on the flag, that is for General Ram. And then the other one, there's a smaller one that has the skull on it. That's for Scourge. And those are names from the first and second game. But Gears of War game, great game. If you've never played it, it's a great game. The first 3 or 4 are really you know, they've got a great story and are very. The hard mode is very difficult. Not difficult because we gave the bad guys more health, but difficult because the bad guys play a very tough challenge against you. You know, they play smart. Definitely give it a try. The 4th and 5th one, I didn't play so much. I don't really know. You know, I was much older when those came out. Didn't have as much time for video gaming. But, yeah, so that's the lore. Let's talk about the plan real quick, and then we'll wrap this thing up because I don't want it to go too long. I am holding back these coughs. So with any army, be it Legions Astartes or Solar Auxiliary, you will need at least a minimum of 3 infantry boxes, and you probably really want 4, maybe even more. Now, if you're going for the most competitive, I want to win, I need to win because I put money on the line and I want everyone I play against to hate me and never want to play again, then you'll probably just use nothing but infantry. I play for fun, so I wouldn't really want to do that too much. I would play against it once or twice just to see if I could beat it, crack it without using pure infantry myself. But for your normal, casual, fun game, you probably want at least 3, maybe 4. I could see 5, and then I wouldn't really want to go past that because I want other things like tanks and titans and jets. You need quite a bit of infantry. I have no intention of getting any more infantry boxes for this army. This is 2 infantry boxes, and that is light. But this army is intended to be allied into another faction, or have allies who will bring the infantry. I already have a substantial amount of Solar Auxiliary in my cog. I don't want to have a substantial amount of infantry for my Locust. And the reason, you know, for obvious reasons, because I already have one, why have it twice? I don't want to do that twice. I do think that it would be beautiful to see a whole invasion force of infantry for the Locust. I think it would. I think it'd be very fitting to their story. It'd be very fitting to the to what they are meant to represent. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to give them some more tanks, and I'm going to give them a support box. I have quite a few support boxes, but also a support box will unlock a pioneer force, pioneer company, and I need a support box will actually unlock 2 of those, and I would like to have the ability to run 2 of those, because if I have 2 of those, I can also use the other 2 commanders for support formations, and I can, you know, it gives me some options on how to play, and it lets them infiltrate, and that can kind of represent those emergency holes, or the E-holes. I think that's what they call them, right? It's been a minute since I played that game. God, I need to play it again. I'll be giving them some Layman Russes. I think 1 Layman Russ strike squadron is what I'm currently working on, and I think I'll probably give them some Demolisher Layman Russes. You know, the intent is that Stencil will be playing with these, and I know he likes to blow up buildings, so I think he'd enjoy having some Demolisher cannon Layman Russes driving up the battlefield to put their hurt on things. And then I'll probably give them some Bane Blades, and maybe at some point some other super heavies. They need super heavies so that they can have an armored company, which again, you know, gives me more formation so that I can work on more things. But I think I probably won't do too much more, you know, no Malcadors or anything for that, and maybe some aircraft at some point. We'll see. I might need to give them aircraft just so that my Mechanicum can have some aircraft. But maybe Mechanicum will be getting its own aircraft at some point. And that would be nice to see, and then I don't have to worry about that. Right now, Mechanicum has no anti-aircraft, and it has no aircraft of its own, and that is a shame. But, you know, there's still time to see some other stuff. I'm hopeful that at some point we will see a second infantry box for Space Marines and Solar Auxiliary, and if we see that, maybe we'll see some more Ogryn with ranged weaponry, and some Velatari with ranged weaponry. Velatari are meant to be veterans, and that would mean that there are, in the Velatari Storm, or your close combat veterans, something else is your ranged veterans with, you know, probably armed with Volkites or something, and I would love to have those in the army too, to act as more Thurin guards, and then I'll give them that veteran paint scheme that you can see here where they've got the red boots. Yeah. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be nice to have, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens in the future with these guys. But for now, the plan is just a couple more boxes, and then I need to get. I'm probably going to be a little bit behind, but I need to get to work in March. I am supposed to be doing my. You know, my schedule was that I would be doing the Stalkers for the Dark Mechanicum, and I might be getting a late start to that due to what happened this month, and that might push everything back, but hopefully we can make up that time somewhere else. But yeah, that's really all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, do subscribe. Comment below if you want to see anything else, or if you just want to talk about really anything related to it, right? Yeah, I will see you all next time. But until then, I've been Crown. This has been Eagle Spire Gaming. Thanks for flying by.